Hi there, Colin Lamb, aka the Tone Wizard here, and I hope you're doing very well wherever you may happen to be. In this video, I'm going to be giving my track-by-track review of Phish's studio album, Hoist. It's been a while since I've done Phish content. 9 months, actually. I looked on my channel. In 9 months, so much has happened in the world. I mean, you could almost have a baby between the last Phish video I did and now. And if you did have a baby in that time, good for you. Now, my wife told me, incidentally, that it's actually 10 months that a woman's pregnant. I don't know if this is some kind of joke that pregnant women play on stupid men, but I believed her. And let me know in the comments if you disagree with my wife about her own anatomy. At any rate, before I start the video, I want to thank new subscribers to the channel: Drew Cossey, Brutally Honest Productions, The Rebel Fairy, that's a cool username, and everybody else who's taken the time to subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. Thank you very much. If you're new to my channel, please check out my stuff, like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you damn well feel like it. So yeah, 9 months since my Rift review of all the studio albums of Phish, and I'm going to be looking at the album Hoist, which is Phish's 5th studio album, released March 29th, 1994 on Elektra Records, back when even a band like Phish could get a record deal with a major label and make money selling records as well, no less. Now, Hoist was Phish's best-selling album prior to the live album that they did, but it peaked at number 34 on the Billboard 200 charts, and the album was certified gold on August 19th of 1996. So good for fucking Phish. The band's best-selling release, and it outsold their discography in their discography only late. Come on now! It had a breakthrough single on the album called Down with Disease, which as soon as I read that, I thought of Disturbed and their song Down with the Sickness, which I don't care for. And I also thought of their awful cover of Sound of Silence. If you've never heard that, I should do a video on that, but it's got awful. There's no harmonies, and it's just like, yeah, all the sound of silence. I didn't like it, and you know what, though? This is not a negative channel. We're supposed to talk about things we do like. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. So I should do a video on that. I should do a negative video. I look ghastly pale. A pale man like myself should be able to make a negative video every once in a while. At any rate, they apparently, according to I think it was Phish.net and Wikipedia, they wanted to name the album Hung Like a Horse. And if you look at the album cover, I think that not naming it that and letting the artwork do the pun work was probably the better move there. But I did read that the horse on the cover was from a farm that they had played at once, and it's also the missing element from the Rift cover. So the Rift cover featured the elements of the tracks. I think it's been 9 months since I've talked about Phish, but I think on the album Rift they had all of the song names and titles were represented on there except for horse. So this being the follow-up to that album, they finally got the horse out there. You can check out my my Rift review and as well as track-by-track reviews for all the studio albums which preceded this one. You can check that out on my channel. But so moving along here, let's get right into track number 1. And god damn it, I am pale. I'm not pale. It's the focus on my camera, god damn it. Also, my barber shaved off my fucking beard today. I went in, I was like, yeah, give me 0 up top, which is normal, and then give me half off the beard. But I think what he heard was 0 and then half on the beard. So now I'm beardless, pale, and beerless. I'm drinking goddamn soda here. I'm taking a little bit of time off the booze to allow my brain to function at its full capacity such that I may conquer my objectives in life finally. Am I edgy? No. Am I pale? Depends on the camera and where the fuck did the rest of my beard go. At any rate, track number 1, Julius. This was a toe tapper. I got right into this album. This was a toe tapper. I did like it. I'm not a fan of the scatting, though. Whenever I hear scatting in music, especially by artists that I respect them less, and I like the music less. So let's see. Track number 2, which is Down with the Disease. This was the breakthrough U.S. single, apparently. I was 10 years old in 1994, so I don't think I was following the Billboard charts, and I definitely never heard of Phish till I even... Honestly, one buddy of mine in high school liked Phish, and he would talk about it. And he was really into the string cheese incident as well, and he was the kind of guy who had, like, different compartmentalized friend groups. So he went away to a summer camp once, and I guess he got in with somebody who was into Phish, and then he went off and saw Phish in these concerts in the early 2000s. I really wish that I would have found out that what he was talking about and gone there, because I still have not seen Phish live, but I really want to. I'm moving to Australia in 2024, and I want to get to see them in the States, preferably Red Rocks, before I go. But anyways, Down with the Disease. I did like this track. Pardon me. Immediately, it sounded kind of like Primus, and it had that nice squeezed bass sound. And if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the loudest we've seen Mike on the album so far. He almost takes the lead on this track, which I really do like, because it's all about dynamics, folks. All about it. Now, my interpretation of this song is about leaving something distasteful, a way of living, or an incident, or something that happened, something distasteful behind, and the choruses provide a more positive kind of vibe with the stop, 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 stop. The solo, to me, is awesome. I love the sustainy. It borders on like a fuzz thing. He's working that compressor and the louder tube screamer. He's got that hollow body going. It's really good guitar playing. It's really uplifting, and it's always teetering. You know, I have been listening to a lot of Phish, even though I haven't been making content, but it's on my rotation on my playlist when I'm driving around. And the thing about Trey that separates him from a lot of players is his solos are always trying to go somewhere. They don't always get there, but when they do, it's fucking fantastic. But it's like they're reaching up and grabbing at something. And when you see him play, I've definitely shown the image before on my channel, but when you see him play, he has that like a searching kind of look on his face. It's really quite beautiful to see. And I think there's a lot of jam bands. There's too many fucking jam bands. I've tried to get into some other jam bands like Goose and a couple of Humphreys McGee. They're great players. They're wonderful players, but I just don't think they ascend to that Trey level where he's reaching at something from the beyond. I think their execution is flawless and the technique is great, but Trey really does that. And what I would like to say about this song is, and I think why it was a kind of a breakthrough for them, is because there were a lot of shorter songs. The first thing I usually do when I'm going to review a Phish album is I look at the track lengths, and I just kind of brace myself, because there's always a couple of long ones in there. But seeing the first bunch of tracks were about 4 minutes was kind of cool, and it made me a little more excited, I will say, as somebody who's not a hardcore fan. But I think this song is kind of like the Kirkland brand version of Phish. There's no spare parts, there's no funk sirens, there's no wandering tales of mildly concerning topics and fantasy, and it's everything you want in one place at 4 minutes. And it's a great song. It's probably my favorite song on the album, and it bleeds perfectly into the track number 3, If I Could. Now, according to Phish.net, this is the song that Trey wrote to cheer up his friend Amy Skelton, who was apparently Phish's very first fan. And it's very nice. There's background vocals by Alison Krauss, who is a longtime Robert Plant collaborator. If anybody knows more about how Alison Krauss and them got together, I'd like to hear about that. But I was listening to this and I was thinking it could be the theme song for some kind of Gilmore Girl-esque TV show. I don't know, like Gordon Boys or something like that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what that song could be used for in a thematic sense. These bubblies are good. Soda water. I mean, there's nothing to them, as you can see, but they're pretty good. There's no sugar, there's no calories, there's no soul, but it's carbonated, and you can bang it back. And unlike beer, where you get progressively drunker, you just get hydrated. It's the damnedest thing. I should have been hydrating myself all these years and not blasting my brain cells into oblivion. Did you see how I went red there? Mood lighting here on the Tone 98.5. Anyways, track number 4 was about as ridiculous as the last 30 seconds of this video. It's called Rikers Mailbox. I don't know if this is a Star Trek reference or something, but it is 26 seconds of jazz discharge a la Frank Zappa. Didn't enjoy the track. Don't need to hear it again. Didn't bother me. Just wasn't for me. Didn't see the point of it. But hey, if there is a point to it, let me know in the comments. Track number 5 is Axilla Part 2. Now, I don't think I've heard Axilla Part 1 because I don't think it's on any of the previous studio albums. I did look that up. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I didn't see it. I enjoyed the phased vocals. I thought it was a pretty okay rocker track, and it had an interesting, spooky outro. Track number 6, Lifeboy. This is a song that had been referred to me by people in the past. I was excited to hear it. I'm always excited to hear a Phish acoustic track because I'm always looking for Phish tracks to try and cover. I have done a very basic version of Waste, I think it is. Come waste your time with me. And you can check that out on my channel. I love that song. That was one of the first Phish songs that really got me in there. And later on in the album, there was a great acoustic track that I might actually look at covering. But this track was not the one I was looking for, unfortunately. It features Bela Fleck on banjo. And while I'm at it, can anybody recommend something good by Bela Fleck? It's a name as I've become a Phish fan and listening to other jam bands that I keep hearing. I think he's a bluegrass guy who plays the banjo, but let me know if there's something I should check out there. And also let me know if there's a good live version of Lifeboy, because it was kind of a somber and delicate thing, but I just don't think that's the kind of mood that I'm in right now. So let me know if there's a good live version out there. Track number 7 needs no introduction. It's Sample in a Jar. It's a song that I've definitely heard many times before live. It's a Phish staple. According to Phish.net, fans thought that this song would bring the end, would summon the end of their dearly beloved little jam band. I think that they thought that this would be a breakthrough track for the band, at least according to Phish.net. And their little write-up. By the way, go to Phish.net if you're looking for information about any of your favorite Phish songs, if you're kind of new to Phish like I am. If you're not, that won't be news to you at all, but do check that out. Now, like I say, fans thought that this would herald the end of their private, secret little band that they loved and followed, but spoiler alert, it didn't. They played this song almost 300 times live since, and yeah, it's a staple of their live show. I don't think you're ever going to hear the same Sample in a Jar twice, and that's a good thing. That's one of the reasons that people there's probably somebody out there who's been to 100 of those shows that's heard Sample 100 times and never heard it the same way twice. But I do wonder aloud on this channel right now, what would have happened if Phish would have broken through with this album, if they would have ascended the ranks? Would they be doing collaborations with Alison Krauss or Celine Dion? Would they be featuring Bela Fleck, or would they be featured by Sting, playing one of his strange little instruments in a beautifully furnished room, alluding to visions and journeys in some desert scape? We'll never know. I don't know. But the question that I will ask, though, or the statement that I will make, is that I think Phish in many ways have reached a level even beyond that temporary mega stardom. I mean, I would argue that probably in their minds, Phish probably feel more successful than an act like Celine Dion or Sting, because they do whatever they want to do. They plan their own shows. They're not beholden to a huge record company anymore, as far as I do know. They share a lot of their stuff for free online, and they have a fan base like no other. The only other band I can really think of, obviously the Grateful Dead, who are kind of at the tail end of things with Dead and Co. But a band like Ween has reached a similar level of success that I think is kind of more valuable than being absolutely massive in the 90s, and that they can travel around, play wherever they want, and they've got their fans, and they don't need huge commercial backing behind them. So you tell me, what do you think would have happened to Phish if they did break through? They'd probably be doing the same thing. I know that they've definitely had a rough period in their career that they've come back, but they're still going strong. Track number 8 is Wolfman's Brother. This kind of gave me like a corrupted Dave Matthews band vibe, like if Trey had forged a bunch of rings and handed them out to other jam bands, but was secretly corrupting them all so that he could control them, and he twisted them into something dark. And that's what the version of Dave Matthews that I think that this would sound like. I'm not a Dave Matthews Band fan, and I will extend that to you. I'll say, change my mind. Show me some Dave Matthews that you think should impress somebody who's not into them. And that was how this channel started. I started doing a series called I'm trying to get into Phish and trying to get into Zappa, and lo and behold, I've definitely gotten into Phish. So let me know if there's some Dave Matthews that you think I should really check out, because I don't personally, as I belch, believe that there is. And I will admit that I kind of skimmed this track. I really wasn't feeling it. I kind of skimmed it. Time is at a premium. I've got a little baby, got lots of things to do, and I kind of skimmed through. So I'm sorry, Phish, Trey, and I'm sorry, John Fishman, because apparently the Wolfman's brother is John Fishman, and I guess his brother's the Wolfman. I think I have that correct. Now, Moving on to track number 9, Scent of a Mule. I really enjoyed this one. This was another favorite of mine off of this album. And when I was listening to it, I was reminded of a video game that came out in 1997 called Redneck Rampage. I wanted this game more than you'll ever know as a, what would I have been, 14-year-old, I think, 13 or 14 years old. This video game was basically, you were a redneck and you went on a murderous rampage. I think you'd been slighted by the townsfolk or something like that, and you had to bring justice into your own hands. And I think part of that justice involved shooting people and maybe peeing on them. But at any rate, I got the game. It wasn't nearly as good. No, it was good. I enjoyed that goddamn game. And my dad would come home after being at the bar and see me playing that, and he would laugh at the game. It was a very good memory. At any rate, I thought that this track would kind of fit in with the soundtrack of that, which was kind of like a Billy kind of thing, if I remember. Anyways, I really did like this track, and it kind of made me think they've delved into bluegrass before on their other albums, and I think Phish might be a better bluegrass band than most people's favorite bluegrass bands, because it sounds fantastic. And to me, the best interpretation of a music is sometimes done by people who don't play it all the time, because they bring their own little components and parts to it. And I think Phish does a great job playing bluegrass. Track number 10 is Dog Faced Boy. And when I heard this one, I got the kind of Don't Think Twice, It's All Right, Don't Think Twice, I think it's called, by Bob Dylan, that kind of vibe to it. It's a beautiful track, and the harmonies are perfect. And my interpretation is that it's kind of a lament about maybe being a bit of a crappy partner to somebody, or maybe going through a period in your life where you weren't so great. And it's kind of the same kind of themes as what we had going on in Down with the Disease there. I'm not too sure what they were going through at this point in time, or if this was the writing partners kind of stuff. But I did like the track. It's my third favorite track on the album. And track number 11 is, well, it's an 11-minute Phish track. And let me just say, you don't have a Phish album unless you have an 11-minute track. It's a furious jam. There's sound effects going on in the background. And at the end, Phish seemed to morph into some kind of angelic Jewish choir. I think it's a Jewish song that they're singing. If it's not, I'm sorry, but that's what it sounds like to me. And and I'm not going to Google everything on this goddamn channel. That's kind of just what I heard. At any rate, I'm going to give this album a 6 out of 10 medical use severed hands in a snowbank out of 10 medical use severed hands in a snowbank. A 6 out of 10. I enjoyed it. The 3 tracks that I really liked, in order of 1, 2, 3, would be Down with the Disease, Scent of a Mule, and Dog Faced Boy. I thought those were great tracks. I will say Sample in a Jar is Sample in a Jar, but because I've heard it so many times, in live versions, I wasn't really feeling the studio version that much. Didn't quite kick me in the fucking scrotum the way that the live ones do. But anyways, that is my review of this album. If you have anything to add to my review, please let me know in the comments. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed it. And take the best care of yourself, folks. And when you go to the barber, make sure you're specific about how much of your face needs to be trimmed, because this is going to take me 4 days to regain my bravado, which I store in the follicles of my beard. And yeah, take good care of yourselves. I'm looking forward to getting into some more Phish stuff here. I really am. I've been on these detours on the channel looking at Insane Clown Posse and all fucking kinds of stuff. But you know what? That is the best part about running a YouTube channel, is that it's your channel and you can do whatever you want. So that's what I'm going to keep on doing. But I do look forward to getting into more Phish stuff. If you stuck around to the end of this video, cheers to you. Cheers to me, and take very good care of yourself. It's a little pro tip too. If you want a cool looking drink on a video, you're using a green screen, get a green can. I should get an all green can so it just looks like I'm drinking nothing. And now that I'm taking a little bit of time off booze, I probably have the time and resources to make that happen. Take good care of yourselves. We'll see you in a future video. Goodbye!